Han often shouted angrily. I will surely kill you, hateful man. Stressful field air as bow has been stretched. Everyone is ready for a fight. Celestial pepper. Red training with falls high. They all looked at the book with displeased eyes. Zeng stared at the translation chapter. Why did you do that? The program acted too quickly, pierced through his body. Even though he's the top mutant in Tianhai City. But the power of Zeng Yat Sen is mindfulness. They are no stronger than normal people. Stabbed through the chest. He also lost his ability to fight. So fighting back would be very detrimental to them. Hai also looked at the translation chapter. You need to explain it to us. If not, we can't just sit there and not care. Even though they don't care about the snowman. Dead, alive, but Zhang's actions were too dangerous. Make them afraid that the campaign wants to take advantage of the opportunity to eliminate other forces of Tianhai City. They can't help but be alert. Long Min in the hand. The corners of her mouth grinned. Though just now, he's using the technique of duality to attack. Work but precision stitching angle. Cannot be directly through the heart of Zeng Yat First. Zeng Yat First has now lost the ability to fight. The current situation, it was completely in the hands of the enemy. He stared at Zeng Yat Sen. And say it word for word. Trin Dat Tien, it's time. You still want to hide this. SAO. The man behind the curtain of zombies in Tianhai City. It's not your snow flute. This word makes everyone stunned. Pink snow opens your eyes. Sermon. It's the guy behind the zombie control. People from other forces. The investigation team including the Order of the Snow. They all look unbelievable. Han often turns to the epidemic and screams in anger. What the hell are you talking about? Do you know the snow? How many people have we lost? This time the zombies attacked. The angel also told the translation chapter, that's right, sermon this time, suffered the most severe damage during the zombie attack. If they're really the ones behind it, it's not enough to do something that's stupid. Zeng Yat's eyes first appeared depressed and crazy. Crazy. He never thought of that the epidemic discovered their secret. You shut up now. Stop talking shit here. Who do you think believes you? Smile, haha. Whether people believe me or not, when I'm done, they'll naturally analyze the truth. Zeng Yat First, what are you afraid of? Everyone listened to Zhang Yi's words. Even if I don't fully believe it in my heart. But keep listening. Because the person who was injured by Zhang Yi's sneak attack is Zeng Jerkin First, not them. More. The information that Zhang Ji revealed was truly shocking. They want to know what happened. Biography of the bar, and everyone was staring at Zhang Yi. They still don't understand what's causing the zombie epidemic in Tianhai City. Even the captain of the army was killed. They don't want to leave regrets. If they can figure out the cause of the pandemic and come up with a solution, the army's sacrifice will not be wasted. And they can report to their superiors in the south. Loud translation of your voices. Everything that just happened. This is the plot of the snowman. It all started with ice. Amber ice can help people wake up to their powers, ability to improve potential. But its true purpose, it's when the user dies. Their superpowers will return to the original body without fake. That's why the new sermon. Generously give us amber. Moreover, they started a war in the city of Tianhai. The goal is for more people to die. Even if their own religion is sacrificed, it doesn't matter. Normally, they're just problems, they're worthless. They collect their spears, just to select people who have potential, and then help them wake up. Next, they're going to let these people die. That their aptitude. Back to the original, not fake. So that, even if the whole person of the snow, the teacher, was killed, it doesn't matter if you don't talk about it. Because, from the beginning, she didn't need that many spears. Zhang Yi's eyes became sharp. She's got something better to use. It's the zombie army that she created. Compared to normal human beings, an army that obeys orders. Strong and not as easy to die as the false immortals. That's her real purge. Zhang Yi's words made the air quiet. This information is shocking. No one can be easily trusted. Red Pepper training Bok Lai, Chief and others, looking at the first, Zeng Yat, looking for answers from his face. He bit his teeth and said angrily, "You're talking nonsense. You are slandering us. A sermon can control something like that. If we're really capable of controlling zombies. In the past, under the oppression of other great powers, there's no clear evidence. It's just based on your assumptions." Zeng Yat first pointed to the translation chapter. Say it coldly. Haha, translation chapter, I suspect. You are the one behind the curtain. People at the scene, when they saw Zeng Yat first, and then looked back at the epidemic, their hearts began to grow suspicious. Zeng Yat first's explanation seemed more reasonable than theirs. They remember that the sermon was shunned by the four great bases. Can only survive in the gap, using amber in exchange for a chance to breathe. In SAO for a short time, only a few months, they're suddenly able to control an army of zombies. Tens of thousands of people. If between Zhang Yi and Zeng Dat news about who's more suspicious, there's no doubt about it. The new owner is the correct one. Whatever until now, Zhangji's power is still intact. It wasn't hurt. Continue to translate. Next to sugar, there's an abandoned skyscraper. There's a very large red Leo wire inside. Its function is absorbing bodies and nutrients from the soil, and then raise the king. The king possesses the ability to spread VI and create zombies. Previously, sermons didn't use this card. Or they deliberately created it. Or because the blood is not fully developed. The movement points to Zeng Yat first. If you say, I have no proof, do you dare to lead us to the snow? We just need to dig up that blood tree over there. The results will naturally be clear. The School of Red Pepper, Nguyen Din Hai and the Celestial Image are interested. In fact, hearing is fake and seeing is real. In fact, they were interested in court. That abandoned building, when stationed to protect the snow spear, they also sent a silent investigator. However, the results of previous investigations were not as expected. I just found out it's a modified plant. It can create food. But Zhang Yi's way of saying, it makes them suspicious. Red Cross training Pepper Tay said to Zeng Yat first, Trin Dat Tien, if you have nothing to hide. Let's do it according to Zhang Yi's words. Let's take a look. Nguyen Din Hai also slowly said true or false. We consider that we know. At that time, I can also help you. I also agree with this way of doing things. Even though the school bar and others, not showing a clear attitude, but by the expression on their faces. You can see they're also planning to take a closer look. Even though SAO had suspected there was a problem there before. However, due to the time constraints, they could not observe carefully. Zheng first felt heavy. He tried to suppress the intense pain in his chest and asked Zhang Yi, "If you don't find anything there, how do you explain your actions? You can't just stab me and then just let it go. Smile to the air. If we find out that you're not guilty, it's because I was wrong. Then you can come and confront me." Zheng Yi at first was so angry that he could not speak. Your actions are unreasonable. But he had no choice. Even the surrounding forces. I also don't feel that Zhangji is wrong. In this chaotic time, murder and robbery, it's just like every day. The great powers before has gone through a lot of conflict and resentment. Zhang's story and sermon, they don't want to interfere. They only care what Trong Yat said. Is it really true or not? Han often stood next to Zheng Yat first angrily said, "We in the Snowball Church always work with integrity, not afraid of anyone." He pointed his sharp finger towards the translation. "Though SAO, if you find out it is not what you said, I will not hesitate to take your guts." She suddenly stopped everyone and lowered her voice. "We can't allow that to happen. We can't let them access the party's blood." The priests looked at Zhang Yat Sen. I didn't understand the meaning of what he said. Baklai Long Bar looked at Trin as attitude startled, then said, "No, there is no ghost. Or something you don't want to let others know." Tim stared at the translation and said, "Blood is the basis of our survival. The snow. I can't let them see the blood. They're definitely targeting blood. If we lead them to, will they take the blood?" Korean love to shout. "You are cowardly. If you want to fight, then we will fight with you." Zheng Yat first turned to Korea often, and the others up. "Let them see. Our snowflakes are not easily bullied." The self-confidence sells, without doubt, in the words of Zheng Yat first. Listen to Zheng Yat first say that, who are ready to find a campaign to fight. Immediately scream and rush. The translation shows a smile. Great to come. The people of this sermon. It's not really worth his attention. Zheng Yat first gave the order. More than 10 angry people rushed towards the epidemic and his team. The same rousing campaign and some others, ready to deal with, even if no one knows exactly about Zheng Yat first's actions. They understand the problem with heresy. So people don't panic, they're ready to confront. The translation is always steady, suddenly moving forward. He covered his right eye and calmly said, "Enough. We don't have that much time to waste with you." When he dropped his hand, in the pupil of the right eye, there's a white light. The ones whose eyes he glanced at. I feel like the space around me is occupied by cats. Suddenly, a colossal force to the unimaginable. From space, 3 dimensions tore their bodies from all directions. Almost in the blink of an eye, 7 of the priests on the way to Lao Ti were blown up. The upper half of the body turned into blood dust in the air. The rest of the priests were buried. Out of fear, Zheng Yat first saw the scene. I can't say a word, but just stare. The terrible scene in front of him made the whole of Korea. The bravest man loses all courage. Feet cannot move on the ground. The police chief witnessed this. Somewhat shocked, he cried out, "This is the time." The first use God's power in front of outsiders. He used it in the last military operation. Like that time, his divine skills have not yet been mastered. It's only used to locate and destroy two mutants. 7 defeats. But now, he has completely mastered this ability. One blow killed 7 people of the snows. The power of that person makes you lose weight. God and Satan and others dress like nothing. Red Pepper practiced thinking silently. It's actually so powerful. The people of the base, we shouldn't be guilty of him. Just now, they understood the true power of Zhangji. How strong is it? The words only know how to defend and attack from behind. Not good at close combat. Turns out they're all fake. The word fat suddenly pointed to the distance and shouted, "Old man. They are running. Lift your head and look back." Zheng Yat first took advantage when the priests volunteered to escape. With the power of dynamic testing, Trin Dat Tian, I can control my body flying at very high speed. The police immediately recognized and told the police, school and others not. Well, he's coming back to tell me he's not. That woman is really dangerous. We have to destroy her. If not, after showing our faces, we could all die. The school's valedictorian stared at the translation chapter. Where do we rely on to trust you? My brother believes in me. You don't have to suffer any damage. Whether it's true or false, you can decide for yourself. Elite brothers in Jiangnan Great Zone. It's not easy to be fooled. After he finished speaking, Zhang Yi did not pay attention to them anymore. Take out the SA Snow and call everyone to chase. Normal welding and lucky cells are alive. He was so threatened that he did not dare to stop him. The lawyer thought for a moment and said, "B. Let's take a look too. The incident in Tianhai City is also about to end. We need to know what the real situation is. You can't let the captain die without clarity." The investigation team decided to move forward. Red Pepper, Adam and Eve have the same thought. On the contrary, until now, there's no conflict between them and this. If the active translation account indicates the sermon might be manipulating the court, they will follow up to see. They're not disadvantaged in this case either. So the rest of the groups, they also quickly find the right transportation and headed for the snows. In the camp of the Church of the Snow, you do not pretend to kneel before the altar. Sincerely pray. Suddenly, she opened her eyes to the bright light. Right now, she's feeling a powerful psychic force back inside my body. Not fake wondering. This is AI's ability. It seems to be the military. Team leader of the Kier investigation team. You don't fake glittering eyes like the stars in the sky. The power of martial arts is finally mine. There was a sweet smile in the corner of her mouth. It's just that very quickly she calmed down. She's obviously feel the power of the armed forces. But a moment later, she frowned. The soldiers are dead. How could he die? The AI in Tianhai City is capable of killing him. Who dares to kill him? Military border with special status, representing the region to south. His death will also attract the region's attention to the south. You're not your hedgehog. She vaguely felt something seems to have gotten out of control. The snow is heavy. Make the area of the snow spear become desolate and tattered. This place used to be as vibrant as a town, with more than 10,000 of them. Focus on fighting your cold, the end of the world. After a zombie fight, most spears die in the mouths of zombies. The survivors, it's just a handful of mutants and their relatives. From afar in the sky, a shadow of man is rapidly approaching. Zheng Yat first had a pale face, even whiter than snow. The blood flowing from him was red. A stab of Zhang yips on to his heart, but through his chest. If only he had received effective treatment. Maybe he didn't lose his life. But he knows if he stays there, their secrets will surely be exposed. So he had to go back. Notify me of everything, so she can get ready. He could die, but you can't be in absolute danger. Zheng Yat first landed in front of the cathedral, and the remaining mutants met him, afraid of his wounds. Your Majesty. Zheng Yat first did not glance at them, directly through and towards the door of the cathedral. His time is not much. You need to quickly meet the fake. Some mutants want to help Zheng Yat first. Let me help you in. But was rejected by him with sharp eyes. He even whispered, the mutant wants to help. It's a really bad ant. The Kier stood bewildered beyond comprehension. I was kind enough to help Zheng first. He was met with such an aggressive look. He opened the big door of the church. You don't seem to feel anything. Suddenly turned his head. She saw Zheng jump first. With heavy wounds, she asked aloud. The injured man saw that he didn't answer. The whole person wobbled. The pupils of the umbilical cord suddenly constrict. She walked quickly towards Zheng Yat first. When you meet the one you love, and finally, Zheng Tiangshan was able to reduce it somewhat to harshness of words. All of him fell. If not, because of the deep faith in him. He died on the road. You didn't hold out your hand to his body. Zheng Yat, first you were shocked like this. Your voice is as clear as the cold. For the first time, there was insecurity. When you're done, put your hand out. To heal the wounds of Cho Trin, dat first. With your ability. As long as that person is alive, no matter how serious the injury, you can also be cured. Zheng then grabbed her wrist. Don't waste your energy on people. My wounds are too heavy. Saving me will consume too much of your power. The danger is coming. We've exposed it. They'll kill you. You must survive for good. His hands did not stop in the air. It doesn't come down. On Zheng Yat's face appeared a weak smile. He looks cold even though his face is cold. But from your eyes, he clearly did not want to give up. Zheng jerked his smile. He finally understood. You're not. There is no feeling for him. You must survive well for our cause. He fell into danger and slowly closed his eyes. You can die in the arms of a lover. It's not a pity for him. It's a happiness. You don't bow your head, sad at the death of Zheng Yat first. But she didn't shed a tear. A friend who has been with you all these years. But soon her eyes became sharp. She looked at Zheng's body and wondered. You'll come back to me in another way. Right? End word. She immediately took away the power on Zheng Jingxian. That was before. Zheng Jingxian also used amber ice. In my heart, I don't think. This is the motivation that Zheng started. When I was alive, I wanted. Not long after, Trong Yi and his team, also in the area of the snow. Now the rest of us are in the snow. Not known, conflict between Zheng Yixian and Zhang Yi. They only saw that Zheng Yat first was injured and asked warily, "Why is our home injured?" Zhuo didn't care about their questions. Eyes towards the wind with the door slightly cracked. He knows Zheng Yat first certainly came looking for danger. At this point, there is no danger. I can't surprise anymore. And Zhang Yi had no such intention. Because right now, no one knows how much they hold, how powerful or how powerful they are. He also did not dare to attack. The bar chief and their team, then also to the snow. They first headed for an abandoned skyscraper near the road. With the current event, the zombie problem needs to end. Whether the zombies were caused by the sermon or not, they'll know as soon as they see it. Trong Yip led them to Theo. I will prove it to you. Tang epidemic lead, investigation team and mutants from different factions to the abandoned building. The sermon still has some mutants alive. Under the leadership of Korea, usually. When they woke up, Zhang Yi and his group went away. A soldier asked Han what to do now. They're out. Should we chase them? He was afraid, but Zhang Yi. He's really scary. Killed so many people in the blink of an eye. Even the great body was attacked by him. Seriously injured. Can we stop him? Can we stop him? We often bite our teeth as members of the church. If there's no key or cardinal to save us, give us the power. There is no hour today. No matter what, we have to go back. If they want to fight, we will. They usually turn their back, search around, and finally found a car of another power left behind. They get in the car quickly, chasing the people of Jiangnan and other forces. Go ahead and tell everyone. Follow me, and I will prove it to you. In front of the building, a mutant is protecting. He hurried to stop you. This is a forbidden area for snowboarding. You can't. He didn't have time to finish his sentence. He was like a ghost that appeared next to him. Quickly grabbed him by the neck and pressed him against the wall. Don't bother. The mutant's eyes were white. And very quickly, he passed out. Expand translation. Leading people straight into the abandoned building. Inside the abandoned building, the space is still bathed in a strange blue light. The leaves of blood and melons were all over the place. This time they came during the day, so the scene becomes clearer. It also makes them shiver. Now on the ceiling and on the wall hanging bodies. Even though SAO in the Kier battle, nearly 10,000 people died, they also become the best source of nutrition for blood. Party. The murky and monstrous air LAN spread everywhere. Although it's not the first time they've been here, some people still feel cold in their backs and sweat. Human death is not scary. What's scary is this cold demonic air. I can't help but ask the translation. Where do you say the evidence? Red Pepper practiced thinking silently. Things hanging on the wall. We've actually been stealthily taking away research. It turns out that those bodies, it's just ordinary dry carcasses, has been drained of all nutrients. So they're not the cause of zombies. Move forward step by step, speaking at the beginning. I have also been skeptical. We've been studying these bodies and the branches of blood sugar, but they didn't detect the bacteria like zombies. He turned to look at everyone, but we quickly realized this is what they're trying to tell us. At least you've been quietly watching this place, right? If they're really hiding an important secret, there's no way they could have left their defenses so loose. Everyone looks at each other, understand each other, and move your eyes elsewhere. They're always walking up the stairs. They used to take advantage of opportunities when they were religious, not paying attention, sneak in here and take samples for study. But nothing was found. People quickly come before the blood. The tree is as big as the world. Deep blue roots deep into the ground. Rise to the sky, to cover every corner of the abandoned building. The next chapter. Zombies like to live in the dark and wet, under the ground, where the bacteria in their bodies prefer to live. So we can conclude that culture environment for this virus must have the same conditions. But the whole city of Tianhai, places that fit these conditions soon disappeared. So there's only this place. Zhang Yi points to the source of blood, beneath the ground. The eyes immediately became sharp. The living environment below, perfect for nurturing viruses. Right? That's his reasoning. Even if it's just a theory, but it's been validated through multiple pieces, and information becomes the closest thinking to reality. And this time he's here. It's to test that thought. Listen to Trong Yi analyze. People can't help but turn their eyes to the source of the blood. Party. The police chief frowned and walked quickly forward. Then a powerful right hit the ground. The murky bass echoed. The ground immediately broke. Big blocks of cement and mud splashing. Fly out in all directions. His group and other forces. I can't help but take a few steps back. Use in every way to avoid flying debris. It's not long after everything settles down. Everyone rushed closer to see if the evidence that Zhang Yi said appeared or not. Just after a moment, everyone rolled their eyes. The pupils appear to be in utter amazement, along with the fear that's creeping up. The root of the blood behind the thick roots of the trees. I don't know how large an area it covers. The end of these roots is like a peanut. Like the bodies again. Body shape with white hair growing all over. There are also giant bronze-colored bodies. Some have been almost completely transformed, while some others, it's still in the process of transformation. It still has the same human body shape as before. For these bodies, you're all too familiar. These are not the kings and their allies that they've fought before Sao. I can't believe they all grew out of one tree. It's not more accurate than being raised from it. You can clearly see. Some still retain human characteristics. They're turning into zombies. After understanding the truth, Pepper Pink fists tightening, emitting an angry scream. It turns out that the root of the scourge is hiding here. Sermon. You are wicked people who deserve to die. It's not just you. That everyone here, they're all seething with anger. If it's a natural accident, they can accept it. But this is a man-made disaster. It's a long-standing conspiracy, full of cowardice and shameless. Since the end of the world began, the flute secretion has suffered the most severe damage. It's not the first and the first. He took advantage of the sacrifice of ordinary people to earn trust and sympathy from other forces. Now that people understand the truth, they feel like they're being laughed at by the snowman. Look like fools. If it's not in time to destroy the plot of the snows, the consequences will come. Just thinking about it is enough to make them shiver. Maybe once the investigation team leaves Tian High City, the true face of danger and danger will be exposed, and then they'll destroy the other forces. The feeling of being noticed by a giant, it's really not pleasant. The angels spoke in anger. They are the unscrupulous little ones. There are so many evil people in this world. Even my people are calculating. He clenched his fist. However, there was clearly fear in his eyes. The investigation team here, their faces are dark and scary. The death of the armed forces. It's too much pain for them. Now they find out who killed their captain. Still right next door. They can't stand this feeling of being cheated. Li slowly raised his head and blinked. There was a strange smile on her face. Ha! These guys have actually created a huge piece of drama. The captain must be sacrificed. We don't like to be despised by others. And cheating. Stop all the others. Cold and murderous eyes began to spread around. Everyone is here, after knowing the truth, that urgently wants to destroy the cult. Some for their teammates. Some for family, friends, and also people. Just because your own interests are hurt. Even though SAO now, they have a common goal. That is, they make people who joke with people die. He looked at the murderous people and said nothing. Only his eyes contains a twinkling ray of light. There's a deeper plan inside.